Hello, hello, Pisces. Welcome to your spiritual revolution guidance reading for the month of Leo. Okay, so Leo season is running from July 22nd until August 22nd, and there is a lot happening. Okay, so actually, starting right out of the gate on the second day of Leo season on July 23rd, Mercury is stationing direct. So for the previous 3 weeks, Mercury has been in retrograde and has been asking us to pause, to slow down, to reflect, to really contemplate, how things have been going and what we need to do in order to take our next step on the path. And but with Mercury stationing direct, it's saying, okay, now is the time to take the next step on your path. Now is the time for action. And we need to remember, though, that we still have Pluto and Neptune in retrograde. And in the month of Leo season, Saturn and Chiron are going to be retrograding as well. So this summer, we're going to see 4 of the luminaries in retrograde. So it's still a time to reflect on everything that's been happening this year, because it has been a lot and we are still processing and integrating it. So if you're feeling that totally makes sense. And, I am there with you. However, like I said, Leo season there's a lot going on. On July 29th, we have the full moon in Aquarius. And then on August 12th, we have the new moon solar eclipse in Leo. And in between those 2 moons, we have the Lionsgate portal, which peaks on August 8th. And that is bringing a lot of energy, abundance, luck, excitement. It is also saying, yes, it is time to start making things happen again. But then we're like, yes, we're moving into Leo season in the Lionsgate portal, but we're also moving into the eclipse season with that solar eclipse on August 12th. And eclipses are chaotic and transformative. And, a lot is going to come through then. Plus, we have 3 of the personal planets. We have Venus, Mercury, and Mars that are all moving into different signs, new signs in this month of Leo. And we have the nodes. So the North Node and the South Node have been in Pisces and Virgo for the past year and a half. And we are going to see them on August 18th move into Aquarius and Leo. So that is going to change the collective consciousness direction of humanity for the next 18 months. And so all of this is happening within the next month. And we are going to connect and see what kind of messages we have for you, Pisces, what you can expect for this month in Leo season. Okay, so first off, the chakra that you're being asked to connect to is your solar plexus, and the message is choice. So we have free will, courage, willpower, and change. So choice, this is very much, I would say, a Leo kind of card, because it's connected to the ego, to the willpower, to our freedom of choice, like where we want to go on our path. And I want to mention, Pisces, that typically we already know the choice. We already know where we want to go. It's just a matter of finding the courage to really embrace that choice and to trust it. And Pisces, you are a very psychic sign. You're very connected to the collective consciousness and to spirit. And so I would trust you. I would encourage you to trust yourself and to really connect to that solar plexus, to your gut feelings, and see where you're being pulled. Okay. And because it looks like you want to go in a new direction. And then for your overarching energy as well, you have the sun in Virgo. And this is about health. So this is about kind of our day-to-day duties, our day-to-day lives, and our health and our physical body. And again, like our gut and our digestive system. And are you taking care of yourself? So we have choice and your solar plexus, and we have your health that's being activated here right now for this month of Leo. Okay, so let's dive in and get some more detailed messages here for you. Because in these spiritual revolution readings, these are for people who know that there is a spiritual war going on. And in the spiritual war, you are being called as a light worker to basically work against the dark forces that are causing chaos within the realm. And so I like to get messages for these light workers and to see, you know, what kind of guidance do you need as we're going through the spiritual war. And so we're going to tap in and get some messages here from your guides. Okay. So the background energy that you're really bringing into this month of Leo is the Five of Swords. And this card, this deck, this is the in-between tarot. So the way that we read this deck is we read the current card, but also the energy that comes from the next card. So it's in between, basically telling us that our energy is not static and stuck in the present moment, that it blends into the next moment and the next step and the next phase of our evolution and the next part of our journey. Because this current moment is the present, but as we move into the next moment, that becomes the present, and there's no distinction between. It just kind of blurs and blends together. So I love the way that this deck plays out. And the energy that you're bringing into Leo season, kind of the background, what's been going on, this Five of Swords, Six of Swords. So the Five of Swords is about conflict. And typically this is conflict with other people in your lives. But what's coming through to me right now, Pisces, is this is about an internal conflict that you've been dealing with. The Swords suit is very intellectual. It's about our communication, but thinking about these themes that have popped up first, choice and health, this tells me that this is more of an inner conflict that you've been experiencing. And like I said, you know the choice that you want to take and you've been wanting to move your life in a new direction, but perhaps you've been fighting with yourself about it, and your mind has been getting in the way of your heart or your gut feelings, and you're second guessing yourself, or you're talking yourself out of it, or you're thinking about, you know, well, things are actually, they're not too bad. And do I really need to make a change? I can live with this. But the Six of Swords, so the Five of Swords moving into the Six of Swords tells me that yes, you do need to make a change, that this is part of your journey. And the reason that these thoughts and this choice is coming up in your life, and why you're really being called to have the courage and the willpower to exercise your free will and to make the change. And I think, though, that there's a lesson in here about what are these questions that are coming up? What are these doubts, these fears, these worries, and what's underneath them? Because typically it's something in our subconscious. This could be a past trauma or a past experience. Like, healing is not a linear path. We tend to circle back to the same themes, the same topics, the same triggers that have shown up in our lives before, because there's still a lesson there that we're meant to explore and overcome. And it feels like that this is something that you have experienced in the past, something that you have contemplated before. Perhaps you have started to initiate the change, but then it didn't quite get to the finish line. But now you're really being called to end this internal conflict and to, with the Six of Swords, move on and to find the next step, the next phase of your journey. So moving into Leo season, okay, we have the Five of Cups. So this is your current energy for Leo season. And so we have two fives here, Five of Swords and the Five of Cups. And fives are about change. And the Five of Cups is really, and bleeding into the Six of Cups, which I'll get to, the Five of Cups is really about disappointment. Like there has been emotional disappointment, whether that's heartbreak or betrayal or loss or some sort of emotional disappointment where, you feel like that there has been a loss, whether that is like an actual loss and, something has been removed from your life, or that you're going to feel some loss, some regret because of the changes that you're making. And we tend to focus on the Five of Cups. Typically, in the traditional tarot, there are five cups. Two of them have been spilt. They've fallen over. They've spilt, and however, three are still in the background and they're upright. The character in the Five of Cups is focused on the two cups that have spilled. And that's what we tend to do when we have an emotional disappointment or a regret is we focus on the negative. We focus on the hurt and the pain and the loss rather than all the good, all the positive, all the joy that was experienced through the process, through the relationship, through the situation experience that we were in. And we have to grieve. And this grief is a major part of the process because if we don't experience that emotion and the loss and the grief, then we can hold it in the body and that will affect our health. So I think you're really being called to, as you're making this choice, to grieve, to feel the hurt, to acknowledge at least that things are changing and it's not going to be the same, and that is okay. But with the Six of Cups, moving into the Six of Cups, you're moving into not necessarily like better times, but like a return to good times. So in the loss, there is it's opening space for you to return to something that is really meaningful to you, that's really emotionally fulfilling. And this could be a return to yourself. And this doesn't necessarily have to be like a relationship. This could be a job. This could be a project. This could be with your family dynamics, anything like that. And as we're releasing the part that is no longer in alignment with our path, then we're making space to embrace the parts that we need to either reconnect with or reunite with. And that's what the Six of Cups is really about. It's really about finding the things that gave us joy, that felt good in the past, that we can embrace in a renewed sense, where we have learned the lesson and now we can appreciate it in from a whole genuine perspective. And so yes, there could be some pain during this Leo season. And I'm thinking about these eclipses because eclipses, like I said, they bring this transformation, this death and rebirth. And there are things that we need to let go of. But ultimately, it's for our best interest and for our highest good. And we tend to see that in hindsight, not so much in the moment. And then your final card, so your outcome energy for Leo season is the Sun. And that's so exciting because Leo is ruled by the Sun. And the Sun, this is like such a powerful, beautiful, exciting, joyful card. So this is really saying that you are going to see the silver lining in the clouds. The Sun is going to break through, the shadows will be chased away, and you're going to find this sense of purpose, this sense of joy and excitement and fulfillment once again. So after this inner conflict has been resolved, and once you've moved past the emotional response and then found yourself back in alignment, then you're really going to feel the warmth of the sun, the warmth of spirit, and your connection, I think, with yourself. Like you're going to feel like, oh, yes, this was the right choice. And why was I so afraid of making it in the first place? And the sun flows into judgment. And judgment is all about being on the path and being called to our higher purpose, our higher truth. So definitely during this Leo season, during this the eclipses, you are going to be finding your true purpose, your true path, and it should feel really good. And like you have the solar plexus with the choice card, and you have the sun as your outcome energy. So let's get your final message for Leo season. What does Pisces need to know? Ooh. Okay. I was going to say it's another sun card, but this is the moon deck. It's the full moon in Leo. And okay, so the full moon in Leo is the message is don't let pride get in your way. So it feels like this is talking about this choice, right? Sometimes when we make a choice and we have to choose a different direction, part of what comes into our mind is like, oh, now I have to admit that the choice that I made before was wrong. And I don't think that that is the case at all. Sometimes we have to take detours or side quests, as I like to call them, on our path to find, usually there's a lesson, there's meaning, there's something that we need to find on that side quest that is going to help us with the main journey. And this could be part of the inner conflict that you're having, is this sense of pride, this sense of, people are going to think that that I'm a failure, that I'm leaving this other situation, or whether it's a job, a relationship, whatever it is, whatever this decision is that you have to make. And you could be worried about how people are going to view you, or what they're going to think. And don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo, we are in Leo season, but full moon in Leo is in Aquarius season. And with the North Node moving into Aquarius, and we have this full moon in Aquarius, it's really saying, be true to yourself. And you are a unique individual. You are here for a purpose. You have a lot of strength and courage and willpower. And that you really need to embrace that right now, and to find this inner strength, this inner wisdom that you have, that you know that you can make the best decisions for yourself, regardless of what anyone thinks, because it doesn't matter. That says more about them saying they're afraid to make these major changes in their life, and could actually be maybe a little bit envious of what you are doing. So don't let pride get in your way. Find the courage to make this choice. Make sure that you're not bottling these emotions, and you're allowing yourself to grieve, so that it doesn't negatively affect your health. And then you are going to find your higher purpose. So that is a lot for you for this Leo season, but I'm pretty excited. It sounds like a lot, but I think, it's going to be worth it. There's going to be a lot of reward. So good luck with this. And if this resonated, please let me know. Drop a note in the comments, or like the video. That helps me know that, that you're receiving some value. It also helps the channel. And this is a general reading, so take what resonates, drop the rest. And if you want to go deeper in a personal reading, I'm going to drop my link in the comments below, where you can book a personal reading. And thank you so much for being here with me this month. Happy Leo season. I'll see you in the next one.